Hello, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Heroes Unleashed. We are here. I am your friendly neighborhood GM. I go by the name of Nothing because I didn't put my name there. And we have Orion, Crimson Sage, who is frighteningly close to his camera. It's scaring children. It is it's a frightening sight. Patch and Morgan with we have some absences conspicuous. We are not going to be having Id, who is becoming our part-time player, and Seraph, who is under the weather, as I believe he is under the weather, so he will not be joining us. Now, we are going to talk a little about. We're going to continue, but we're going to be not continuing those particular story hooks. So we're going to talk about what we have currently.
The inferior people.
Te digo, sierva.
I don't care if I get copyrighted for this one. All right, so Orion was working on his theorycraft, working on a program to help to try to get to the bottom of certain things. And then we have Crimson Sage, who was about to report to the assistant director, Schultz. Patch and Seraph were taking Miss Casey Ramirez, also known as Veriga the Witch, to his wife's hospital for some treatment, which leaves Morgan, who was doing what exactly? I didn't write that.
I was helping them.
You were helping who?
Sage and Orion.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Actually, he finished helping me, and that was the last thing he did.
By the way, you can't be copywritten. You know why? After 10 years, it's public domain. And that shit has been out more than 10 years.
It was?
Nope.
How did they keep renewing their license?
Thanks, Sonny Bono and Disney for making that not the case.
All right. Oh, that's right. Here we go. Continue to triangulate theory crafting. Continue to create your models. Cross-referencing. All right, I wrote that small. All right, so we're going to start with Crimson Sage. So the AD is on his phone, and he sees you standing outside his office like a stalker, and he waves you in, and he hangs up his phone. So, what do you got for me?
I'm waiting some paperwork from Dr. Jeter, arriving via fax. But the interesting thing is that he has 6 names that we have 6 names that we can trace its genealogy up until now. The reason why it's irrelevant is because 3 of those names are the Simmons, the Cornwallises, and give me a second. And
You mean you took
the
notes?
Blackthorns.
Okay.
So I'm looking through my notes. I told him the query with Dr. Jeter was interesting because he spoke of a spherical monolith that was
Dieter, like in sprockets.
Oh, sorry, Dieter. Okay.
Eric?
So he figures that it was made,
What was
not something that was natural.
Wait,
And
back up for a second. What are we talking about? What was made?
this sphere that they found in their excavation, that contained the same symbol that was the only hit with our research. When I spoke to Dieter himself to get information on the research, which he's going to send to us, whatever he had copies of, he explains that it was a series of symbols, although like a dead language, that there are more symbols than that on the sphere. And the thing that he found interesting was that the sphere itself was perfectly round and perfectly made.
What's so unusual
Now-
about that?
What's unusual is that these three names keep coming up. The CD contains those symbols, and the fact that he was stopped dead in his tracks from finding out any more information on the sphere. It was actually brought out from under him, which is now what my next lead is as to finding out who was that.
Yeah, because he almost interrupted you by saying by who, bought out by whom.
Well, he wasn't specific as to who. I think he wrote down the name, that he's sending me that information. But I also got the information from the last curator, the one that put the stop to him. He is now deceased, but I was hoping that we can get clearance to see if we could go through his things or any information that his family may have, or because there's got to be some breadcrumbs left behind.
Is this a U.S. contact or is it international?
It's an international contact. It'd be in Germany. I tell him the exact location.
You're saying that this sphere. So by sphere, you mean like a ball? Is it it's
a monolith?
And it wasn't. Are there any written records of this thing?
Yes, but from my understanding, from what Dr. Dieter explained, everything's been destroyed.
Destroyed by whom?
By the museum itself, Berlin Museum.
See, that's odd. So why would they destroy?
Yeah, he was ordered to hand over his entire research and information and notes and stuff. And according to him, they destroyed all the information. But I'm saying they're trying too hard to cover their tracks for something, so something has had to be left open. I mean, I don't think it's possible for them to cover themselves completely 100%. They must have missed a piece, something that can allow us to kind of tie things together.
It seems like doing a goddamn good job of it.
Yeah, but the more they try to cover it up, the more they leave loose ends. Even though the problem is that the loose ends don't coordinate easily. It's like a really, really, really old, messed up jigsaw puzzle. But the pieces are there, though. Like they will make the image if we take the time and effort to dig it through. But the problem is, do we have the time?
Well, that's impossible to tell. But if I have to go by some of these phone calls that I've been getting for constant updates,
I can tell you definitively we have until December.
What happens in December?
Because in December there's another celestial movement, according to the research that that the books I received, and thanks to Morgan.
Not more of this magic crap.
Well, unfortunately, it has a lot to do with it, because all the events that have transpired prior to this have been closely related to one of these events, i.e. the most recent one, the Black Day.
Do you have evidence to confirm that? So because I'm definitely
Orion is actually working,
interested in that.
Orion is actually working on presentable database where you can actually follow what our findings were.
So you're saying that it all hinges on Smurfette over there?
No, I mean, Morgan also has a complete analysis of it in his head, I guess. Supposedly he can remember and recall things easily. And then there's the books themselves that are literally here. The only problem is having to dig through all that information and really detailing it, taking the time to do so, of which we don't have.
Do you, what's your assessment of that kid? This is because if his name is if his family name is involved, should we be giving him access to all this intel?
Well, sir, that's what I wanted to get at. I don't think he's literally a detriment to us. I think he can prove to be an asset. But the problem here is that somehow, some way, he's being tracked. Because I've just recently found, I kind of put the pieces together along with Orion, and he's been at every attack since the onset.
So
At every single one of them.
So he's the catalyst?
Possibly, or he could possibly be also a target because he may have information that he doesn't even realize he has, which can prove a very worthwhile asset. But we need to figure out how they're tracking him so we could either set a trap or we can stop them tracking him. So we can actually use his abilities, his knowledge.
Did you send him down to the lab to get a full,
I wanted
full
to, but I
scan?
wanted to get permission from you or my handler first.
So, no, you got it. Just get down there.
Okay.
And make sure that he's not being.
Okay.
If he has any devices, I don't care how far up his rectum they are. We need to fish that out.
Okay. Will do, sir.
You see his face?
Is there anything
He's
else?
like, I don't have nothing on my butt.
What's up with the anal probes? Humans are doing it now?
He says, just keep me up to date.
Will do. You should have that report.
I have a feeling that the further you dig, the more phone calls I get, and the more the more likelihood we'll all be reassigned by the end of the week. So you don't have a lot of time. You are correct.
Okay. You should have the report as soon as Orion is done with it.
All right, carry on.
All right.
And
So
keep that
I'll swing
goddamn
by-
dog on the leash. I swear
I'll
to
swing
God,
by Orion first.
he keeps looking at me like I'm a steak.
He's okay. He's not.
I
gonna
am not
bite
a
anybody.
steak dog. I am not. Whoa. Okay. He just stands up. When you stand up, he stands up. So he's like, "Whoa." All right, get that fucking thing out of here.
So I'll go by Orion and go, Orion. I know I can't be much of assistance to your project, but hopefully Morgan can. Once you're done, I need to take Morgan downstairs to the tech guys. Also, how soon
He's done.
before? Okay, so how soon before you're done with the digital analysis for the report? So
There is no
you can send it
digital. There is no digital analysis. It's all in the reference tables that I made here. And I'll hand him the stack of paper.
Okay, thank you. So go to Morgan. Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan.
I'm like, hey, it's one of the 4 languages I speak.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Need to come with me,
All right.
please. So take him downstairs to the tech guys. Forget his name, Brian. Go to Brian and tell him, listen, I need a favor. Actually, you need to go through every single spectrum, anything you have, anything experimental if you've got, to find how he's being tracked.
So what are you talking about? He's being tracked. So he has a bug on him. So he's just looking you up and down like he has a bug on him. I'm gonna shoot him in the face.
It looks, but it's not a contemporary device. That much I can tell you. Because any contemporary device would have probably been picked up by now. But there is something definitely on him, either a marker, some type of signal, something that they're using to track him.
Okay. Well, I'll see what I can do.
All right.
We'll run a full.
And if it's
we'll-
nothing, well, it's just my paranoia.
Right. We'll run a full analysis with what we have. Anything outside of that, word. It's like word has reached my ears that we're talking fairies, ghosts, wizards, that type of shit.
F it up, but unfortunately, that is something real. And unfortunately, however much you try to deny it or want to deny it, it's still going to affect the fuck out of us.
Right.
I mean, most of it can be explained by science. I will give you that. But there are those things that do go bump in the night that can't be.
Well,
Here's
yeah.
one such. Here's a situation right now,
Say,
and
well-
I point to Morgan.
I will. I'm going to tell you. He says. He said, you know what? It's ironic that you're down here. We just finished the autopsy, and he finds he picks up a tablet. He's like, here we go, and you can see the old man from the Botanica, and they had already did the Y incision. His skin is ashen from the draining of all his blood. And, what was left that you didn't trample through? Contaminating a scene. Just, throwing it out there again. And he's like, these marks on both sides of his neck, he says they correspond, he's like, they look like, they correspond to fingers, or more aptly, talons. So it's like you see he goes through the whole thing of the because I'm not a doctor, nor am I going to pretend to believe. I'm going to pretend to be one, but not have the terminology down. He says that you can see these 3 marks here. They have the similarity of an eagle's like an eagle's claw. So he says you know how the talon digs into the flesh of one of their prey animals, and that primarily how they kill them. When they catch them, and then they start tearing into their flesh and eating them and feeding them to your young, all that other good stuff. But this, he said, this is almost surgical. It's like they cut his carotid artery, they cut his, they cut right into his neck, and immediately he died. Practically, he died instantly. The rest of these injuries are post-mortem. So they have him. He's naked in the images as he's showing you, and all along his body those claw marks. They almost look. He's like, do you notice? He's like, you notice this pattern here because they almost look ritualistic. He's like, whoever did this or
Can I
whatever.
See if I recognize it.
So he says, whoever or whatever did this took their time, or are really good at making these. They're almost symmetrical. It's just the strain. It's I've seen some crazy shit, serial killers and all that good stuff. But this one's right up there, top 5.
Um,
I'm there. Do I see
can I
it?
make can I make a
Yeah.
demon monster roll?
You guys both see it. Yeah,
No.
sure. Go ahead.
Do the markings coincide with the possible tentacles? Where
No.
it will have
there's-
teeth?
Yeah, no. There's no. I think I know what you're talking about, but there's nothing to correspond with actual like suckers for the tentacles. They're all gaseous.
So I'm gonna roll Demon and Monster Lord to see if I know anything.
All right, you guys can.
All right,
both
so
roll.
I made my roll.
Okay.
I'm also going to make principles of magic lore to see if I recognize anything on the body like a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he mentioned ritualistic, see if it does correlate to something I've read before or similar to what I may have already come across.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a no.
Okay, so for the demon and monster lore check, it does not correspond to anything that you may have read. So it does seem like this was done ritualistically. but it doesn't correspond to a demon or monster check.
Okay, so my next roll is going to be cult.
Okay.
And yeah, there's garbage today again.
Dude, talk to Steve. This die roller has been shit in the bed for like the last 3 days. So, again, you're. It's like it's like one of those splinters in your brain. You're like, I've seen this. Maybe this may be this. This may be that. There's too many possibilities.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paper, overlay it on the body. Since the gashes seem to be predominant, etch them out.
So he's looking at you
like actually trace them.
He's looking at you like, what are you doing? Just take the fucking tablet.
No, the body. I tell him. I just need to see.
You cut off. Say it again.
I tell him no. I don't need the tablet. I need the positioning of the marks and stuff like that on a simple paper because the body's in the way. It's interfering with identifying what this may be.
So what do you think?
It may be like a sign.
What are you thinking?
A symbol. Like you said, this could possibly be ritualistic, but you may be more on truth than you realize.
I don't understand.
Like he was literally offered off as a sacrifice.
Oh, like some Satanist type thing? I mean,
something
considering that guy's profession, it's not far fetched. There's some of these cults can be quite gruesome.
So do that and see if it could be made any heads or tails of it without the interference of the background images.
You would have to make a secondary roll, and you're going to have a penalty of 25.
And that would be for Principles of Magic? Or what? Demon Monster?
No. The cult.
Okay.
I'm going to ask, has he checked the holes, the wounds themselves for any residue or anything?
Yeah, they did, and there was nothing. He said that's a good. It's good that you pointed that. There was literally nothing in there. No skin cells, no hair, nothing that didn't already belong to that gentleman. It was almost as if it was whatever it was. They could have been covered like with a glove or something like that. It was very clean and very precise. Did you make?
Nah, I came close, but I didn't make it.
Okay. So again, I
actually missed it by 5.
That splinter is right there in your brain.
All right, so I'll just probably take that piece of paper. Wait, Morgan. Take a look at this quickly and see if you can recall anything similar to the pattern that you saw through the manuals that you went through.
All right. So I'm going to see if I can recall anything that's similar to this.
For the memory of a lifetime, recall.
Because I memorize everything.
And the answer to the question is no from the books, but yes from your background. So you remember.
I'm gonna be like, your books are useless, but I do remember something.
He's stupid. All right. So right over the mantle of your father's den's fireplace, you remember seeing a tapestry that he had. It was old. It was mostly soot covered because of the fireplace itself, and he never had it cleaned. You don't even remember him touching it or even looking at it. Now that you think about it, and there were it looked like a crust, and some of those images correspond to that crust. Some of the not the images, but the pattern.
The pattern itself.
The pattern itself corresponds to that crest.
I explained it to Mr. Sage. Mm-hmm. Be like, you have some. This correlates to a crest that I've seen, a symbol on a.
Is it your family crest or something else?
No, it was something my father had. He would have it with his fireplace, but he never really paid it any mind, as if he was just holding it there and it's none of his business, basically.
But you can recall this tapestry.
Yes. There's a little soot.
Would you
covered
be
with
able-
it, Yes.
Would you be able to draw it?
Yes.
So, if you can you please do so once you're done with Brian? So that way we can see what the similarities are from the pattern that's on.
Is there any paper or pencils in the area or anything like that? If not, I'll ask for some.
So yes, there's some on that table over there. So
All right. Thank you.
all right. The crest itself, it's again, he's drawing from memory, so he can get a very detailed memory, detailed rendition of that memory. But most of that tapestry was covered. Again, it was
'Cause of the soot.
blackened. So you're able, you're able to draw the outline, the symbols on the edges. So the pattern, not the symbols. The pattern is on the fringes of that crest. It's the center part that was covered. That's the part that he's not able to
I'm missing, yeah.
to put into place.
This is the best I can do since some of it was covered in soot, and my father never cleaned it. So I handed over to him after a few minutes of drawing.
Mm-hmm.
My
You can
wrist.
make a third roll, but your penalty is going to be a 40.
For art.
Not you,
Or-
Adolfo.
Wow. Okay.
So what would that be? Because these are diminishing returns, unfortunately.
I know. What the fuck?
I would imagine that's a hell no.
No.
So
No.
it's still not ringing a bell.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah, he's living with the guy that does that. No, no, no.
No, no, no,
Sa-
no, no.
Apparently he's in the background. No, no.
That would be hilarious. He comes out and she's
Freaking
gonna,
hilarious.
no.
Okay.
Leave.
So I'm gonna turn. What are we doing? What are we doing now? Before I turn it. Before I go back to. I go to Patch. He's been patiently waiting.
Well, what I want to do is I want to start working on the other device that I was thinking about, the one that would use the energy to also reinforce what would essentially be a holding cell made out of force field.
A Faraday cage.
What energy are we talking about again?
The energy that we've been discussing about tracking the rapidly decaying radioactive material.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna ask access to the
So-
lab so I can try to re-energize the amulet.
Okay. And Sage.
I'm gonna use what he gave me. Did he give me the whole tapestry or just the symbols?
No, I gave you the whole thing. It was it's not to scale, obviously, but he drew what he remembered.
Okay.
Even
Pay
the
attention
soot.
to the face and the tapestry. If it wasn't of a person, or was
Wait.
it just a sigil?
What are you talking about? I didn't say anything about a face.
No, I'm talking about the tapestry. It's usually a person that's being represented. But I mean, is it just a crest that was a tapestry?
If there were any other details, it's covered in soot.
Okay. So have the tech guys run what he drew and see if we can get a match
What on that art?
on the tapestry.
Okay. All right. So that's going to take some time. So that will push me. That will push it back to Patch. You meet you, Seraph, and the young lady. You're able to get to the hospital. You can see your wife's waiting outside, and she had told you to park across the street because there's a video camera that is pointed directly at every drive-up entrance. So she comes across the street and she's like, "What? What is going? Oh my God! What happened to her? She looks
We found out like that
she looks beat to all hell." And
because they were beating the crap out of her.
she's like, "All right, don't be a smartass." And she goes over. She takes her pulse. She's like, "I'm not. This is so weak." She's just looking at her. You know, takes out her light pen, looks at her pupils. She's like, she has a severe concussion. I'm not even ruling out any hematoma, which is blood in the brain. I watch a lot of hospital shows, and she's like, "Can she move?"
Barely.
She's looking at just trying to examine, like, to see if maybe there's anything broken. Just going over her forearms, her biceps, see if there's any protrusion. She's just checking to see if there's any protruding bone, and she feels along her ribs. And when she does, the girl, she winces even though she's still unconscious. That's how much it hurts. She's like, oh, she's probably got it's either a couple of fractures or broken ribs. And goes along she's like, we really need to bring her inside. He said, but is she in some type of trouble? I mean, like your type of trouble?
To be honest, I don't know. Like I said, Sarah found her somehow, and you know how he is. He gets impulsive when a human's in trouble.
Right.
It's kind of hard to rein in.
Yeah.
And after seeing the beating she was taking, I had to relent.
Were you there? Did you see it happen? So who the hell could do this?
It looked like a couple of guys in black suits. It's what the footage looked like.
She's like government guys?
I don't know. Yeah, it looks that kind of type. But when I got to Sarah, he told me that he took care of them because they weren't alive. I don't know what that means.
What?
Yeah, that's what he said.
He's not here to do the interactions, but assuming that he's just like, yes, I didn't see that. He's like, they registered as not alive, and she's like, that I would say that was crazy, but yeah. We need to bring her inside. We can't do anything out here. This is she might need surgery. We need to do, CT scans, all that stuff.
Mama, look, I can get her to look like she's walking on her own with Sarah's help.
What do you mean?
He can do that cloud thing, and he can carry her in.
Okay. Well,
make it look like she's walking or staggering.
She's like, all right, I'm gonna go back. I'll get a wheelchair. Just bring her over, gently.
So I look at Sarah from like, saw you, buddy.
All right. So assuming that he does all of the things that we're talking about, and he is very awkward in handling her body because she's completely limp, and the weight is not the issue. It's just the movement,
motion. Yeah.
So she's like barely conscious. She's just, you can hear her like, what are you doing? It's like, what is this?
Trying to get you into the chair. You gotta look like you're walking on your own. This is as far as I can go.
No. No hospital. No hospital. And then she just passes back out. So your wife, she comes out of the ER and she's waiting with the chair, and she calls back as Seraph is still walking, using her body, marionetting her body across the street, and a couple of other hospital staff come out and rush over to her and grab her, and they put her in the chair. But then one of the ER docs, he rushes out too as they're screaming for him, and he does the same check. This not as detailed as your wife did, but he does the thing with her eyes, and he's just saying, no, we need to get her out of this chair, get her a gurney. They bring a gurney, they put her on it, and they wheel her inside, and she, tries to discreetly wave at you guys, and goes right back in.
I call her on her phone, my cell phone.
And she's like, "Hello."
Hey, honey, somebody said no hospitals, so
What do you mean? She woke up.
for a few seconds. So whatever happens, Jane Doe needs to stay real on the DL if possible. She's probably hiding from somebody.
Well, it doesn't look like she has any ID on her, so if for anything else that might buy you some time, or whatever you're going to do, you need to do it fast.
All right. So I thank her and I hang up.
Okay.
And I talk to Sarah. I'm like, okay, bro, how are we gonna do this? Because we need to let her people know without letting everyone know, and we don't even know exactly who our people are. So should we tell the NSA guys that we're working with right now?
You talking about those super guys who keep blowing up places?
No, let's not tell them. Fuck that. You're right.
So I would imagine that's exactly what Mike would say.
We can try and find out who her superior is. We got her information.
Wouldn't that alert everyone?
Yeah. Damn, we don't even know her, so it's not like we know who her handler or anything is.
Well, we may need to just call in those super guys who blow up places.
Well, we got to keep them away from the hospital.
That sounds reasonable.
Because they just blow up the hospital, and I'm not having that happen.
We do not need a hospital being blown up.
All right. Damn, I gotta call them. It's too soon. All right, I'm calling them. I'll call them. This would be easier if a certain African American cop was still around, but I guess he hit his quota for games. I text Orion.
Okay.
He'd be the only person I could truthfully think it's professional enough not to blow up a hole. But he's been in every scene too. Fuck me. I text Orion.
Okay.
How much information are you sending?
Okay, so I tell you that I found.
What is that?
Give me a second.
You're muted, dude.
I was saying it's Trump as a toilet scrubber.
Oh God.
That shit is hilarious.
No
I get it
politics.
in
No politics, sir.
Okay, so
Keep this a politics-free zone. But that is funny.
I let Orion know that I have aided an NSA agent in distress.
Okay.
Her identity, I would like to tell you, but I'm not sure exactly how safe it is for that to get around right now. I'm still trying to grasp the gravity of the situation.
Okay, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna send a text back. I'm gonna see if I can meet you somewhere where people don't tend to be very densely populated. Maybe somewhere outdoors where there's no structure to collapse on us.
So I'm rapidly thinking of a spot that we can go to that cannot be manipulated into an explosive device. I was gonna say the beach, but ocean, hydrogen, boom.
You know, the-
Right now, I'm picturing up the Torg quest. Next quest, blow up the ocean.
Yo, but I can see it. I can see it happening because it seems to be going that route. I mean, look at it. It took the coffee, made acid. It freaking used the gas, it blew up blue flames. And now, I mean, like I said, if we go to the ocean, hydrogen, boom. No. Trees? How deadly are trees?
depending on the tree.
I can't think of nothing with trees. So I tell them,
I would assume a rest spot outside of populated area would probably be best.
a rest spot, an outside populated area, trucks, gasoline, boom.
On
Need
the
a
main,
park.
on the main highway, probably not necessarily on the side roads.
Okay, so do you know one? Because I tend not to hang out in
I'll
obscure places like that.
pull up a rest area map.
Okay.
It should be like on a parks and recreation type map.
Yeah, that's fine. You do find one that's nearby, maybe about 10 minutes from the hospital.
Okay, so
Okay, I'm gonna send him the coordinates and tell him I'm gonna go check with my boss to see if I'm able to meet you there.
okay, I'll meet you there.
Okay. I'll head over to let me look up what's her name real quick because I probably don't want to bother Schultz with it.
What's her name?
Ileleto.
Agent River.
Okay. Laura Rivers. She pick us
Yep.
up. Mm-hmm. So,
I'll
go ahead.
I'll tell her that I just got word from a contact to might have some important information for me, and I need to meet him. And I'll give her the location of the rest stop.
So, okay. So proceed. Just check in when you just check in and updates as per procedure.
I'll nod and head off.
Blue, 10 minutes off. I go to the spot. The first thing, I'm looking around everywhere. I'm looking for underground transformers. I'm looking for highline wires. Anything that could possibly be manipulated into some kind of explosive device.
No. There is a gas line that goes into the rest stop for
gas line?
for heat.
It's a rest stop. There's no structure. It's just a rest stop.
No, that's like the rest area.
Some of them have buildings.
They tend to have bathrooms there.
Yeah, it's a rest area.
If you go into Wyoming, you got some really nice ones. Full indoor plumbing, heated.
There's the parking. It's sort of a landing strip type of setup. So the rest stop is towards the exit to back onto the expressway, and then you have long strips of parking spaces. So at least 2 to 3, and then on the other side of that, about 50 feet away is where the trucks are parked.
All right. So I'm going to pick a spot as far away from all that stuff as possible.
Sure.
And wait from there.
Okay. All right. Orion, you make it there. So we're gonna fast forward to that part. You can
I'm
see.
just following.
You see his car. Oh, wait, you were following him?
Yeah, I have to stay with him. Remember?
Oh, okay.
He wasn't even in the room. What are you talking about? You don't know where I went.
I know everything.
You're kind of with Sage there in the lab.
Okay, so I'm staying with Sage.
You're in.
So if he gets screamed at, it's not my fault.
You're with Sage in the lab, getting scanned, getting probed, getting probed. It's like, my word. Must you use both hands?
Sideways. Oh,
It's like, and what is the boot? Why the boot? All right, you get to the rest stop. It's was it the next day? I didn't write the time down. I gotta start writing the times down. I think it was the following day. So we will say it is approximately 3 p.m. in game time when you arrive.
I didn't catch that, dogs. I know you're muting all, but
Are you talking about me or Orion?
Orion.
Oh.
He started talking, then he muted himself.
No, it's got to push the top.
good word.
So
Do
you
you also
guys don't need
seriously
you
want
guys
to
don't
hear
need
every sniff and
you don't need me to narrate this.
No, no.
I'll approach
There
him.
are like they do have those picnic tables. There's like 3 of them that are set up in the grass where people would normally walk their dogs. There are people that come and go, but no one's parked this far from the actual rest stop from the building. So you guys are the furthest out. The nearest car is about 15 spaces away. So we're talking about 75 feet away.
Something like that. All right, so
But they're staring at you. It's a family of 6. It's a family of 6, and they're just like, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
all right, so
Alright.
I explained to him in low tones, since he doesn't have to talk. So I explained to him in a
I'm
low
gonna, I'm
tone.
gonna leave my cell phone in the car. By the way, I'll text Agent Rivers that I arrived at the destination and then leave the phone in the car.
And paranoia is in full effect.
Yep. I tell him everything. I tell him not everything. I leave Seraph out of everything. So everything that Seraph wasn't part of, it was me. And I explained to him the situation where this agent was being beaten, interrogated, I guess. And I give him her name.
Okay.
I don't disclose what hospital she's in at the moment, but took her to the hospital.
Again, you don't have to tell me. You tell him. Are you just explaining what you're not?
I'm
Okay.
explaining what I'm not telling you.
Okay. Okay, good. Keep going. I'm sorry.
So that's what I got. Other than that, I have no idea what she was doing or anything like that. It was just some kind of random event that I ran into.
Okay. I'm gonna advise him not to put any of this information over electronic communications, and essentially tell him that he's got to be careful with this from now on. Give him a code word. Let's see.
Pineapple.
Okay, pineapple works.
Wait,
Pineapple.
you can't use that one. That's my wife's.
Oh. Damn. And congratulations, by the way.
Peaches.
So, essentially to let me know if he's in trouble in relation to this particularly.
Mm-hmm.
For him to be able to text me.
Okay. So if I text you artichoke, you know something's wrong.
Okay. Move my notes out here.
Okay. So what are you guys doing before I move back to the other 2 gentlemen?
Oh God, for a lack of any other common sense, I'm gonna go back to the hospital and hang out with my wife, or hang out around my wife.
Okay.
Make sure that hospital doesn't blow up, or my wife. I mean, the hospital can blow up. As long as my wife doesn't, I'm fine.
Gotcha. Yeah. Some D&D childhood beheadings have gotten you paranoid, sir.
Yes, yes, they have.
Okay, I'll send a word to Agent Rivers that I'm on my way back and head back. Pick up Chipotle. No.
no Chipotle.
What Chipotle?
That's where the murders started.
Oh,
After they do a full biometric scan of Morgan, determine that he is not he does not have any foreign agents in his body. He does not have any electronic tracking signals on him or on his person, his clothing. They've even did an analysis of his computer, his laptop, and that's not emitting any unknown signals. In fact, they are going to have to commandeer it in order to put the security software on it while you're here, which you could easily disable, but it's really up to you whether or not you want to let them do it. You're muted.
I would like to look over the program first.
Okay, it's a standard security suite that they use, that all the agents have to use on their devices. It's pretty complex, but it's not something that you would be unable to crack with enough time.
So the federal government can't even break Apple. So
The federal government is Apple,
it was in the news too.
or the other way
Supreme Court.
around. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Apple pays better than the federal government.
Oh yeah. But I let them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I let them, and I'm going to create a masking program to make them think whatever the hell they're seeing, whatever I want.
Okay. We'll do you can do the roll later, but
Yeah.
again, given enough time, these types of roles are not necessary because it's not under duress and it's
Yeah.
not opposed. So this way, we can skip over some of the unnecessary rolling that a lot of people do. Now, so he comes over to you after they're done with Sage. The last thing they do is a CT scan because of the way he's been behaving, and because Schultz had wanted it. He comes out and he's looking. He has his tablet in his hand. He's like, as far as I can tell, there's no sort of tracking anything on this kid. So aside from the fact that he won't stop telling us how smart he is, there's really nothing aside from teenage what is it? Teenage arrogance. Plus, he's British, so that comes.
The accent helps with the arrogance.
No offense to anybody that's British that may see this at one point ever. No one's going to see this.
So I turn towards Morgan. I'll go, well, I guess conventionally you're not being tracked, but how are they locating you then? How are these things finding you? Could it be by scent? By some type of impression, magical or otherwise? Could you have been marked, cursed?
I'm gonna look up like some things in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be psychically, since that doesn't come up on conventional.
Well, there is a way to gauge it, isn't it?
Cipher.
I go to Brian. Isn't there a way to gauge the brain?
So what we did do a CT scan. I didn't. He pulls it up, and he flips over the tablet so you can both see. He's like, if you look here, there doesn't seem to be anything abnormal anywhere.
I'm gonna look at it to see if I see anything that sticks out to me.
I mean, is there a way to calibrate it to read other things?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
What, barking dogs in the background?
Yeah, like if they're like different ranges of sound, like a dog can hear a dog whistle, but we can't. Is there like another other levels to the brain where people normally just don't look into?
So, well, I mean, that I did read a study. Where was it from? It was from Dr. Vanderbilt. It was a pretty cutting edge stuff about the brain. But is it possible? Sure. So anything's possible with the human brain, but do we have the equipment to figure that out, to be able to do that? I mean, I could probably recalibrate the CT scanner, but there's only so much you can do with that thing. Plus, he's already been through it. Do we want to irradiate his body?
I was gonna suggest that if I'm being tracked, I can try to.
Yes.
If I can duplicate the medallion's energy that helped me be stealth, we can. I forgot the name. Oh my god. Fuck.
So he's like, you keep saying that. He said, how would you even know what to do as far as like energy? What do you mean energy? Do you mean like a laser? Do you mean like
No,
microwave energy?
As in, like dark matter.
It's like, oh, dark matter. Well, hold on, I have some in my pocket. What are you fucking talking about?
Dark matter is everywhere.
Oh yeah, I understand the theory. Saying I'm
within-
not a
within a
complete
centimeter, you
idiot.
could
What
power
I'm
a city.
saying is,
For more than a year.
the Hadron Collider can probably get you some dark matter, but we are not
No.
going to Europe.
But I don't. I have not devised a way to get that. So I'm going to try to duplicate the energy signature that I have recorded from this medallion using contemporary science. That way I can reverse engineer it. That way I can know how they're tracking me.
So you're going to try to reverse engineer magic?
To a sense.
So he looks at you, Sage, is like, is he being serious right now? I can't tell if he's being serious.
Yeah, he is actually being serious. And honestly, from what I know of magic,
He's looking at that CT scan, like trying to find something now. He's just like,
You see, my brain is like overly
He's
fucking
just like-
working. The synapses and everything.
what the fuck? Just
I
going
tell him,
through.
listen, I know it's hard. It's hard to grasp because you've not seen it firsthand. To you, most of this stuff that we're talking about is stage magician stuff, like David Copperfield kind of deal. But no, it really does exist. And from what I've seen masters at it manipulated in ways that you don't want to be present for. So his theory, even though it sounds silly, it might actually work. But the problem is, since I know you're not versed in magic, you don't cast spells. How are you going to duplicate that energy base?
It's like, yeah, Merlin, please enlighten us.
That's because
Well,
that's the, from my understanding of magic, it's the will of the one who's casting it, who's literally bending the laws of reality.
But
By their
that's
own
sheer
energy.
energy. I'm not looking at bending reality. I'm looking at the base energy, which comes up as a radiation. I can play with radiation.
I understand that, but what about the will component? Understand? They
There's no-
literally will
I'm
things
not
into existence.
casting anything.
You're not
I'm
getting
using
He's
science
like, look,
to duplicate
he's like, guys, this is
Morgan?
this is all
Morgan?
this is all amazing and enlightening. But I need you, if there's nothing else that you need from me, I need you to both get out of my lab so I can get back to work.
So we take it out of the lab, and I go to Morgan. Morgan, listen, scale it back a second. Your intelligence. You're looking at it from what you want to do. I'm asking you a practical question based on what I've seen done. The ones who wield magic literally will it into existence.
Okay.
How are you going to duplicate that? Because they're using their own inner energy. You know, you've heard the terms before: chi, ki, kai. spirit.
Okay. Now I'm gonna present. Pull out my cell phone. I'm gonna present. This is energy. By me forcing my will, I am dialing to communicate to force whatever it is to do something. I'm not looking for the communication aspect. I'm just looking for the energy. Energy.
Energy.
You see the concept? You're going into what you know as a caster, knowledge of somebody who can manipulate this energy. I am going on a different route, which bypasses that. I don't need that component. I don't need to manipulate it. I just need to
But-
copy it and then work from there.
In essence, that's my question. Are you sure you don't need to have that component?
I'm not willing something to exist. It already does.
Ooh.
Is it not everywhere?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not a
You're
magic.
saying magic is not everywhere.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, conceptually, it can be everywhere, but I mean, then that means that you and I potentially have the ability to cast magic, but I've never attempted it.
Because you need special training. That's all that is. It's training. I don't want to go into deep details about how the cosmos is and how reality is affected by the human soul and mind. I just want something to protect me. And if I would go on to explaining this, I think I would be here for several years. So I'm not going to do that.
And you'd probably burn my brain.
So from that, I'm going to see, like I said, Lou, I'm going to ask if I can attempt to try to duplicate this energy. It'll be harmless.
So you're gonna go back into the lab and ask him to do that, or?
Yeah. I'm going to ask in the lab to see.
Oh, you're back. Figure it out yet?
Yeah, it's just he needed to talk to me outside about some gibberish. So, can I use your lab real quick?
Hold on. Wait. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'm gonna pull out the amulet and I'm gonna pull out the readings that I had taken previously
Like, do you mind?
of the energy of the
He holds
medallion.
up his
I'm gonna hand
hand.
it to him.
He's just like, all right. He's flipping it over in his hands. He has gloves on, but he's just looking at it. He's like, so you're saying that this has energy in it. This has some sort of magical properties.
I'm gonna, to a degree, but it's like holding a chunk of uranium. It has energy, right?
Wait. This is not uranium, right?
No, not well. At least I don't know. But
Like,
I haven't
okay.
checked it.
So he's just like, he hands it back to you and goes to the table. He's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, what the fuck?
There is a level of radiation on it, though. That's what it comes up as.
So, yeah, he's like, this is hot. What the fuck? Why are you carrying around something that's radioactive?
Because
So he scans it. He's just like, it's
harmless.
not toxic.
type.
So he's just like, it does have radioactive properties.
I would like to see about duplicating it so I can recharge it. That way I can find out how they're tracking me because it's not through conventional means.
So, okay, so I want you to look around here. Aside from that CT scanner, do you see anything here that would denote a reactor or something, or anything that can duplicate radiation? It's like, why would we do that here?
Do you guys have any form of old televisions that I can get access to? Because they originally radiated radiation.
Hey, are you being serious right now? Again, I can't tell if you're joking.
If they're not LCD screens, if it's an actual tube, there's some diodes that can also emit
It's
radiation.
like, all right, cool your jet, whiz kid. No. He's just looking around. You just see LCDs and
Damn it!
and LEDs. He's like, no, we're not in the 50s.
I'll find one then. All right. Hey, come on. Flat screens only came out like 20 years ago, about the time I was born.
Okay, there, Doogie Howser, get out of my lab.
So I'm gonna go.
Okay,
And
and
try to
with,
figure-
with that well-timed jab, we're gonna take a break. We'll come back, and we'll we'll pick it up from there. And we're back. Heroes Unleashed, and guess what, folks? We found Seraph. I don't know if he's with us just yet. He was away from keyboard. Oh no! What the hell? Oh yeah, stupid icons. There's two Orions.
Did you just delete the session?
There's two Orions. No, I didn't delete the sessions. Shut up. Shut your stupid pie hole. Shut that hole in your face.
We found out that Seraph was snacking down on some discount Cogswell Cogs and got sick.
Oh boy. Wow. There we go. There he is. Sage, are you not there? What in the devil? What are you doing? Okay. Well, that is weird. Oh, I see. That's why. His picture is too long. Yeah. Then it moved you over. Oh, I know what it is. Okay. Phew. There we go. There we go. There you go. There you go. All right, so everybody's muted. Just remember that. So you can unmute yourselves. Sage, you made that third roll and you didn't make it. Okay, so that's out of the question. Out of the question, and you had talked to, refresh my memory. I'm old. What do you want?
We just finished talking to Brian again when.
Oh, that's right.
Morgan was talking about.
He threw
When
Doogie
Morgan
Howser.
was talking about the old TVs and cathode tubes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
And he threw Doogie Howser out of his lab. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
So-
you guys are at the elevator. What are you chatting up? Because Orion is getting ready to skedaddle. I'm assuming.
I thought Orion was on his way back.
On the way.
Don't know about.
Oh, you were leaving, right? You were going to meet up with Patch.
We went, we met. I said
he
I
already
was
met
sending.
Jesus
Christ, I'm sorry.
I was sending
I
the,
apologize.
conclusion and
My brain
heading
is
out.
everywhere. So yeah, you did. My apologies. My apologies.
Remember the Chipotle joke?
Yeah. Okay. Now, you guys are
So-
still in the building. So what if anything are you doing before I move back over to Orion and Patch?
Well, with me, Morgan, I'm gonna go and take a look if that information has arrived yet. Other than that, I guess you can help Orion out. And all I hear is tweet.
That's because
Motherfucking tweet.
he is no longer in the chair. If you don't already see it.
Chirpity chirp.
Nope. You
He
bitch.
blended into his background. He's now a green screen.
He became the green screen.
More like a green blanket. What is that team? Is that like a super team? His background?
What?
Is that some
Yeah.
comic book team? Can't
I
really-
think it's comic book characters.
can't
Those
really-
are Warframes from Warframe.
Oh, okay. All right.
Warframe from Warframe.
Okay, so since Morgan's not here, Orion and Patch, you guys can you meet Are you getting out of your cars? Or are you doing it the cop
We
way?
already did a meeting.
Yeah,
What
we
are
did
you
all
talking
that
about?
already.
Oh my God.
The last thing we did was I went back to the hotel
To the
hotel.
hospital. That's right. And you were
Went
going
back to the
back.
hospital.
You were on your way back to the HQ. Duh.
Yep.
All right.
It-
Again.
It's okay. You're getting
Blue
old.
My apologies.
Ginkgo tablets.
Somebody didn't eat their spinach.
Oh my God. It is
Come
gross.
on now. It's the spinach.
It's gross.
The elderly jokes are gonna go all over.
Ginkgo
Yeah. They're
tablets.
going to be everywhere.
And
So
vitamin
Pat-
B12.
yeah. You got it.
Because you obviously need it.
I'm sorry, I don't know you. All right, Pat, you get back to the hospital. You can see you can see her. She's making her rounds. You know, she's going from bed to bed. She's on her floor. She's on the ICU floor with your new ward that you brought. And Seraph is with you, obviously, in his dust form. Now she sees you, and she turns and looks. For some reason, she does this look around, like, and walks over. She's like, "What?" She said, "What's up?"
No, just keep an eye on things.
No, that's not what you're doing. What's up?
No, really, I'm just keeping an eye on things. I'm worried.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
She's like, yeah, you, a workaholic, a terminal workaholic, are worried and are at a hospital. No tablet, no computer, just a swirling vortex of robotic child in tow. So what is up?
I mean, I already explained to you everything. I told you everything.
Mm-hmm. But you're here
Because I'm worried
about.
someone coming looking.
Okay, I feel like the blanks are being filled in slowly. Can you speed this up? I got work to do, but I also know that you're here. You don't ever come here.
I'm worried. I'm just worried about the lady attracting attention to the hospital.
Okay. So well, when the attending, he's taking care of her, and I've been slowing down. She's been slowing down the desk. I know the position. I can't remember. He's been slowing down the girl who would normally report this in as a Jane Doe. To give you some more time. So, unless someone followed you here, do you think someone followed you here?
I don't think so. We're really careful.
So you're more than welcome to stay at. So I don't have a problem. So don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with you being here, but you being here is a problem. So
you're
now
right.
I'm starting to get worried.
And I say via mechanical link to him through his tech, Dad, go, I will stay. And watch the human.
I tell him back in my kind of like, I'm more worried about Mom than I am about the human.
She's like, she's
And
looking
I
at you.
will
She's like,
watch
please
Mom
don't talk
and the
to.
human, Dad.
Please don't
I
talk
more
about
than
me like I'm
capable
not
of doing
here.
so.
She knows what you're doing.
I know she knows what we're doing.
It's like, I don't like that.
And I reach out and touch the screen that Mom is sitting in front of.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, actually, I don't have to. I can literally connect to the network.
Mm-hmm.
Send her one of those inter messages, that they have the message service usually on networks.
Mm-hmm.
Send her a message, Mom, I will stay here and keep an eye on both you and the lady we brought in so that Dad can go. We are worried about safety. Everywhere that these situations pop up, there is also some kind of attack. And these were not normal individuals.
So
And this
and
is
I,
everything from the network.
I give her a kiss on her forehead. Tell her, "I'll see you later, ma."
Uh-huh. She's like, okay, going to do my rounds, and she is in room 214. To no one at all.
So I go and leave it to Sarah.
Okay. Orion, you arrive back at HQ, and Morgan and Sage are in a, I would say, philosophical debate when you get off the elevator, discussing the principles of magic as it pertains to technology. And I think I'm being very generous in that description. He's like,
Okay,
you see this phone? This phone here has magic. I can make it go. Look, look, look. Boop. Oh, it's magically making signals and
That's literally what it's like.
that's
It's
exactly
Just
what
the way
it
he's saying
is. Look, it's a dead
I'll,
parrot.
yeah, I brought Taco Bell. I give a hard shell taco to Sage, and I give a soft shell taco to Morgan.
It's like, look at
He
it. What the,
literally gets hello tiny human.
it's like, what the fuck? Handing out tacos. I don't even like this. This is a dead parrot. This ceased to be.
Like, is this made of rodent?
It's made of magic. Eat it.
Magical tacos.
You're an alien. You should know this food is all garbage.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Patch, where are you going from here?
I am going home.
Okay.
Going home because the kids are by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to make sure they're okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's
I,
a,
yeah.
that's at least an hour drive, right?
From the hospital. About, yeah.
From yeah. So, all right. And Sage, you are waiting for
The facts.
The facts. Okay.
The information on the
So
6 families.
that information came over.
The curator, the person who bought the sphere,
mhm.
all those details.
Okay. Are you ready?
Give me 1 second and I'll have the note open. Go ahead.
All right. So the 6 families, 3 of them you already know. The remaining 2 are Takigawa. That's a Japanese origin, and Bradford.
You're getting? Oh.
Really?
Hey, don't get smart. Don't get wicked smart.
I'm still
Okay,
missing one more.
and there was Simonitis, Blackthorn, Cornwallis. As a matter of fact, those are that's all that he had. There was a 6th one, but that's all that he was able to get from his research before it was taken. There is a 6th one that is missing. He does acknowledge that. They were unable to decipher that last name. And the curator. His name is Klaus Heinrich. He was born in 1957. And he died in 2013. Which is right around which is about at least a month before the sphere was excavated. Excuse me, a month
And this was
after.
a month after,
A month after the sphere was excavated.
And the name of the one who purchased it?
He doesn't have that record. It's missing. He puts it in the header of the fax.
And in the information that he supplied from the copies of his excavation notes and stuff, does he have any pictures of the sphere?
No pictures, just his handwritten notes.
Okay. I'm presuming they're all in German.
Yes.
So, get somebody to translate them.
Okay.
Or actually, would I be versed enough to know that there's a read program on copiers now in order to scan them into the PDFs and then use the Adobe Acrobat to translate it?
Been out since 2003.
Do you have programming? Because if you do, then the answer is yes. I'll give that to
Do
you.
I
That's
have
that's
programming?
pretty
I
simplest.
doubt it, but I will check.
No, you twit. Oh,
No, he has dog handling.
Yes, I do.
you failed because that's a wolf.
Eventually, it's just like, yeah, I am a wolf.
Like, no wonder he smells your crotch all the time.
Starts chewing on him.
Nope, I do not. Just have simple computer programming, for computer operations.
Then no.
All right, so I don't know that. So, go to Miss Rivers. Give her the update with the names.
Mm-hmm.
These are the 5 names we found. These are the notes that Dr. Dieter kept, but they're in German. And I got the name of the curator who died a month after the excavation, the one that initially told Dr. Dieter to hand over all his work.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping to follow that lead in order to see if there's any information regarding the sale of the monolith, any information that he may have kept at a vault, or just in case to cover his butt, even though it didn't help. I mean,
Wait, whose
I
butt?
don't-
Whose butt are we covering, and why? What are you talking about?
No. I'm saying there's got to be a loose end somewhere, because these people are desperately trying to cover all their tracks. But yet, the more they cover their tracks, the more they leave enough loose dirt to kind of follow. Problem is all disjointed. So I want to follow up the lead of the curator, even though he's deceased currently. But I want to investigate, the cause of death, what personal belongings that may still be around, any family members that may have kept something from him, like something of his,
Mm-hmm.
any notes that he may have, locked away, whatever the case is. Because otherwise, I don't think we'll ever find out who bought that sphere. And the reason the sphere is so important is because, according to the doctor, and you'll see in the notes once it's translated, there were far more symbols on there. It was almost like a language on there. It could be something of a ritual or whatever it is that's, we're naming now magic. And the reason that's important is because those are the same symbols that appeared on the CD, which was the initial catalyst for all these events that happened with Morgan and Orion and Detective Johnson. So things are tying in together, but they're tying in very, 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 very loosely. And right now, where there's nowhere where we have enough to go on. The only thing that we do have is a deadline, and that's December.
Okay. Well,
Did we get a definite date on that, by the way?
No. Nothing.
So I tell her the best I can come up with as far as a timeline is December. That's when there's other events going to happen. That's not Earth-based, but cosmically, I guess it's another venue for ritual or something of power or whatever the case is. And if they follow the timeline of all the other events, the last one being the Dark Day, yeah, we're going to be hard pressed.
Okay. Well, you're not really giving me anything. It's just I don't think this is something that we should bring to the AD until we have more. He's on edge, and he's been getting a lot of calls from Washington. And,
Yeah, he told me. I went to him with the initial information, but I'm coming to you now for that same reason.
Okay. So what do you need from me then?
Well, I'm going to need permission in order to be able to follow up the lead with the curator, Klaus Heinrich.
So you mean, so are you talking about going to Germany?
I may have to, but I'm going to need a translator.
I think we can arrange the translator there, but the getting you on a plane out there to Germany is going to present a challenge because we're technically not supposed to be working on this.
Technically.
So that has to be a reason to send an agent overseas that was just assigned to this location.
The investigation led to an illegal purchase that the last known person was involved was Klaus Heinrich, and we're just following up.
It's just that's great, but we're not supposed to be doing anything, following up or anything. Those were our orders. You do remember that, right?
Yeah, I mean, independent of the investigation, we've got working on the case.
That's paper thin at best. He said an entry-level analyst will find that one. So we're going to need to figure something out. So let me work on that. You keep working your leads, and we'll see what we can do. If there's anything you can do off the books, digitally or analog, please do that. Report in to me, and I'll filter it up.
I show her. I give her the paperwork, the one that was sent to me by Dr. Dieter.
Okay. So she said,
and I also give her the paperwork that Orion did.
Apparently, somebody else needs some B12.
Yeah.
So okay. So I don't speak much German, but yeah, I wouldn't. I don't even want to touch this handwriting. Jesus, this is gross. People have no pride, no pride in the cursive. Okay, so I'll see if I can get somebody in the office to translate this. But yeah, all right. Carry on. She turns and walks away, ripping the pages. No. Conspiracy.
So, head back out and what I'll do is follow up on the search for the tapestry.
All right. Orion, your analysis led you to pretty much what you guys have come to in the analog sense. The celestial event doesn't correspond to anything that the humans would notice, but you're able to determine that there is going to be a micro wormhole that's going to appear there at that time.
A micro wormhole.
And by micro, I mean.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. And by micro,
sorry
I don't mean like a fist. I'm talking about it's about half the size of the Earth, by your calculations.
I'm gonna check on the progress of the physics analysis as well on the setting up a satellite tracking system for the energy, the radiation.
Okay. So In theory, you should be able to do it. The problem is that the current tech of the satellites that they have will only be able to track it within seconds of the actual of the energy spiking. So if it's in an inert state, or if it's micro traces, it's not going to be able to pick it up. It's too minute. It would have to spike to the level of the explosions,
Okay.
which will only give you a window of about 30 seconds.
Yeah. I'll make note of that. It's probably not going to be worth commandeering a satellite for.
Yeah,
But-
this group has no luck with satellites, by the way.
But
Shut up.
but I will make notes. How complex would it be to insert just a random as they're going by every now and again to just randomly check as it's going by, not necessarily here, but
As it's in orbit,
as it's in orbit. Yeah.
okay, you would need a very skilled programmer. Patch,
Or me.
or you. And you would need high level clearance because you're essentially adding a worm, and that is going to that. You do understand you
Not behind the scenes. I mean, like to actually give the actual authorities the code to
Am I there? No. right?
do it on the up and up. Just
not
so
with
that they-
Orion now.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna officially declare this your intent.
Yeah, to give them the option and like, here's my findings. You can do with it what you want. There's my recommendations.
Okay,
Have
so
a nice day, sort of.
the them part I'm having a little trouble with. Who's them?
The people that operate the satellites would presumably be the U.S. military.
Yep, it's the DoD, Department of Defense.
This is a potentially dangerous energy. We don't know what it means yet. As the satellites do their normal orbit, they can ping for it every now and again.
All right, so this is
It's-
all
it's-
going to be in
it's,
a written report.
Yeah, it's essentially going to be a sort of thing of, we don't know what the danger is. We just know it's dangerous. This is just, let's see how often it happens naturally.
Okay, so
Roger.
interdepartmental communications have to be run through Agent Rivers or the assistant director. So those are your two.
Yeah.
Those are your two stopgaps.
Yeah, and I'd probably give it to Agent Rivers.
Okay. When you find her, she's working on some other stuff. She's like, she's always she's not a nerd by you, but you always seem to sneak up on her because you can't speak. So she's just like, whoa, stop fucking doing that.
Okay,
It's like,
so what?
All right,
I don't know
who's that noise?
Whose stuff is interfering with you, but other noise is going over you.
All right, hold on a
and
second. I know
you're
that
getting
is.
cut out.
That's Mike. Go ahead. I have to mute him. Go ahead. Say that again. Well, no, you walk up on her and she's working. She's intently focused on what she's working on. And she turns like, please just knock or something, tap something, make some noise. Fucking. All right. What can I do for you, Agent Orion?
I have a report to give you. Unfortunately, the idea of using the satellites as a tracking system
Her smile
what the-
immediately goes to a DEFCON 2. It's like,
is not viable. The technology is not where it needs to be, but there's a chance that we could get more information over time, and there's a configuration that we can use to gather that information passively without having to take over a satellite for any length of time. I figure I'd give the data that I have and let them make a decision on the higher levels.
so she said, well, we're not supposed to be working on this. You do understand that. I just had this conversation with Sage. It's like, any movement in that's even remotely related to this case is being flagged. I know this because I ran 2 tests to see if this case is being flagged. There's 2 innocuous inquiries, and I used I got a call, and the assistant director did too. So we know that some persons are watching us. And I really don't understand why. But whatever you guys have stumbled on, there are some Jeffrey. She's like, I'm getting some Jeffrey Epstein vibes here, if you know what I mean.
The report is made out to look like it's us dropping it, and like it's information from before we were told to drop it.
All right, let me take a look at it, and I'll make a call. If this gets flagged, then do you like the tropics? Because you will probably be stationed anywhere. You won't be stationed there. Possibly Alaska.
If there's anything in there that you don't feel comfortable with, then go ahead and sit on it. I mean,
She's like, excuse me?
she's
like, I don't think you got that reference right, but I understand. She's like, is there anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Well, carry on. She turns and walks away. Was there anything else you were going to tell her? Because she's turning to walk away.
No, I'll head back to my lab and start working on an idea of utilizing the energy to fuel a containment field of some sort.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming to start with a basic idea would be an electronics engineering role.
To get it started, sure. You're going to have a penalty of a 30 on that. Actually, no, there's no penalties to start, so that's fine. You would have made it anyway, but all right. So you're starting your drafting process in order to see what you can configure. All right, Seraph, are you there? If you are, you're muted.
Lou.
Yes.
Spank wanted to talk to you first, I guess.
You did? You're muted.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Assuming you're still in your cloud form in the room with the girl.
Yes.
Okay.
Also looking through the surveillance cameras
Okay.
of the hospital.
Patching into the surveillance, there doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary in terms of human activity. The girl is having what you've come to understand as a really bad nightmare. Her REM sleep is off the charts. They have her attached to electrodes to monitor her brain activity, where I believe that's an EKG. And that is spiking at certain points where it's corresponding to some rapid eye movement and a lot of spazzing of her body, which is causing even more. It's a cascading effect because she's under heavy sedation. You've already seen that. You've seen she's tubes and wires. She's intubated, and she seems to be having a whopper of a nightmare. The ambient temperature of the room is dropping. It's dropped at least 5 degrees since she started this nightmare. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that when my siblings have bad dreams, mom and dad comfort them. They
Mhm.
either say some reassuring words or try to sing. I'm not sure which one has the singing skill. I'm pretty sure dad doesn't.
No,
Um,
definitely not.
um, while I'm there paying attention to her, what I will do real quick is uh, search her by name and what does she listen to on music services? iTunes, Spotify, whatever, YouTube.
She does not have a social media profile, a social media presence at
Wow.
all. At all. She has no subscriptions. She has no social media. I already said that. She has no
Right.
subscriptions. She has one credit card to her name. I'm going to give you this information because once you detect that she has no social media presence, I will take some liberties and say that you became a little bit more curious and
Oh, yeah,
started
curiosity.
expanding
Yeah,
your
curiosity.
search. So she does not have a digital footprint that the average human does. She has two credit cards, both with minimal balances, and her driver's license, her social security, and her place of residence. That's it. That's all she has on the net. Temperature has dropped another 5 degrees. I don't know if you're talking or not, but
Sorry about that. I will pick something that mom listens to
mm-hmm.
when she's in a calmer state or trying to stay centered and calm. Because dad was never calm. Um, and I will play that locally through the PA. And I will also settle around the pillow out of sight in case nurses walk in and wonder why it's dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Or just in the area around her and basically say to her, you will be safe. I am watching over you.
Roll perception, please.
All right, give me a moment. I haven't logged in yet.
Okay.
You can rock it one of the other guys in the meantime, and I'll do the roll as soon as I'm in.
All right. In that time, Pat, you had gotten home. Your kids are screaming over Call of Duty. They are not sleeping. And
They're weak.
saying some choice words because neither of their parents are home until you came home. Then it went back to fudge and dang and jerk and all this other PG-13 language. Say, Dad.
What happened?
There was a package. Someone dropped it off earlier today. It's on the kitchen table.
I go take a look at it.
It is a box. It looks like it has an Amazon stamp on it, but it's you know that brown packing tape.
Yeah.
The Amazon stamp is on the brown packing tape covering something else.
The hell? Can I make out what was the covering?
No, you would have to peel it. It has your name. It looks like it looks like it's a it has a FedEx sticker on it. The return address does not exist.
What the fuck?
It's like 123
So-
Penny Lane.
Right.
Yeah.
So I take the box outside to the backyard,
Hmm.
and I scan it for anything. Wait, I don't have anything like that. Shit.
Like, I'm gonna. No, I'm not.
Because it's I'm not I don't have it's not power armor, so it's not like I have all those sensors attached to it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in the car. I'm going to my car
Mhm,
with the package,
mhm.
and I put my suit on, and I start fucking with the box.
Be a little bit more descriptive about fucking with the box.
I try to peel the sticker so I can see what's underneath. Start with that.
Okay, so you pulling the stickers, the tape, and whatever was underneath it. Someone took a Sharpie and scrawled all over it, and the same would be on the other side. So
Okay,
whatever print was underneath it, you can barely make it out, but they had scribbled all over it to make it indecipherable.
Okay, so I'm gonna check to see if it was laser printed,
What
the label that they scribbled all over. Because if it's laser printed, the words will still be risen, and I can still make them out under a bright light.
on the box itself?
Yeah.
Okay, because you had me confused for a second. Hold on for a second. I can tell you right now. The answer to that is no.
All right. All right. So I gently start to open it.
All right. So you that's that tape with the I don't know what's called. It's like it's not wire.
Packing tape with the rope on it. I
Yeah.
know.
So when you finally get it open, as you're lifting the flaps of the cardboard, an immediate like the instruments on your dashboard, because your car wasn't on, they click on as if you put the key on the ignition and turned it into the and made that first click. I don't know what
Right.
that's called. It's not idling, but you know what I'm talking about, where all your instruments come on to play the radio or whatever. So that happens. After you that's weird, but you open it up, and right in there's a piece of like packing paper, brown packing paper, but there's now your suit's an environmental suit.
Let me see.
Because that's gonna determine what I say next.
Where is my character? I popped it up. Oh, here it is.
If it was like your student champions yesterday,
Yeah, but this wasn't Champions, unfortunately. Where is it? Under powers. Battle armor. No, it's not.
Unless you updated it since, no.
No.
Okay, so there's a smell that's coming off of this thing. It's not it's sort of overpowering. The that packing paper, you see, it has like a moss, like a mildew that's on it.
Okay.
And again, totally unusual because that's who packs mildewy paper in a box. So I'm only describing what you see. You have to tell me what you do because you only told me you were opening the box. I just want to make sure.
Right. So I
that
open the box.
I'm not
At
gonna
this point,
direct.
whatever is in there,
Mhm.
if it's gonna poison me, it's already got me. I'm gonna see what it is.
Okay. When you grab at the paper, it takes on a viscous it's moldy. It feels like it's wet, and you pull it back, and underneath it there's a book.
Book.
Hmm.
Where the fuck? That. I don't. Why? I scanned the book. Is there abnormal energy on it?
Yep.
Why did I get a book? So I look inside the box. What else is in the box?
You see a watch. It's an old. It looks like an old watch, and you. When you are you going to take it out, or you see it? It's on the side. It's silver, or it's stainless steel. It's on its side. You can't see the type. You can't see the face because it's against the book.
Right. I examined the watch.
Okay. Taking out the watch, you look at it. It's an old Timex, and you're just like, wait. It's one of you. It's an old watch that you owned when you were
Me?
when you were 17.
Holy crap.
And when you turn it over, you can see in the inscription from dad. From dad, love you, happy birthday. It's a small inscription. He used to write to you in code. So you're just like, what?
So I examined the scripture on it.
It's exactly your dad's handwriting. He used to he took up engraving for like a month. He got that obsession, and
Right.
he bought you that Timex when you were 17, and he inscribed it for your birthday, and you lost it a long time ago. You don't.
I don't remember when I lost it.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was.
Correct.
Oh, what the? What else is in the box?
That's it. Just that. And
That's
the book.
it?
Yep.
So I look at the Timex. Look at the time on the Timex. Is it still working, or did it stop at a certain time?
It's still working, and it says December. The date is the time is 1:05 a.m. and the date is December 10th, 2020.
December 10th, 2020.
Mm-hmm. So 6 months from now.
What the hell? All right, so I record that date
It's like,
and
wait.
the time for that date.
It's like, wait a minute. This was my watch. And what's
record-
this? What the hell's this date? What the hell's going on here?
I record the date, put it on my calendar to notify me for it.
Okay.
I gently examine the book. I'm assuming all that mold and stuff that's coming off the book.
The book has nothing on it. It's
Has nothing on
just it was just that paper that was over it. There is a leather strap with a that goes across the binding of the
Right.
front of the binding to the top of the top cover. There's no visible writing on the outside of that book. So to describe it, it's like a burgundy cover, burgundy spine, and the back. It's very thick. the pages that you can see from the side that's visible, they're all yellow, so that this seems to be aged, or it's an older book. And that thing that's coming over, that locking mechanism that's on the top of it, it has no keyhole.
Is there a a clasp to open it?
You don't see any clasps. No.
I got a book. All right, so I go into my trunk. Come out of the car. This didn't blow up. Go into the trunk.
No,
pull
the car
out,
didn't. The car did not blow up.
Pull out the sampling material, the sampling packaging. You know, like take samples, put everything in Ziplocs,
Sure.
and then
Samples of what though?
I take samples of the wrapping that has the mold on it.
Sure.
I swab the leather of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I swab the metal of the watch.
Okay.
I take a swab of the paper.
Okay.
The paper's on the side of the book.
Mhm.
Put the book back in the box. I close the box back up.
Okay.
And I go into the basement from the outside.
All right.
And I start analyzing all the stuff I just took samples of.
Okay. So that's going to take you some time. We're going to go back to Seraph. Once again, in total, in the last 20 minutes, the temperature has gone down 15 degrees, and the thermostat reads 70. So it's about 52 degrees right now in this room. You can you see her. She's starting to shiver because she only has that light blanket, that light sheet that's covering her, and
turn the temperature up on the thermostat.
okay. Doing that should take no more than a few, less than 60 seconds for the heat to come on, for the heat to click on, and it does, but it does not change the ambient temperature of the room. Okay. I'm sorry, and you did roll perception. My bad. I got to remember that. As you're doing that, you can hear her. She's like, you look on her neck, and you see these depressions on her neck. And there's a force being pushed that's pushing down on her neck, on her throat.
What do I see on thermal?
You don't see anything on thermal at all.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. There is a cold. You can see her ambient heat. You can see around her throat there is a cold, you can see the degrees of heat and cold, right? So what's around her throat resembles two hands, but the temperature that they're registering, it's about 30 degrees. And you follow that. You follow that into the into the room, and you can see it looks like these this. It's similar in. It's similar to the. I'll call them the apparition that you dispersed from the bodies that were beating her earlier.
Okay. In the area that is obviously above her, where would have to be, I'm going to do an eye laser. Give me a moment. I have to go back in the room. Roll a strike, right?
Yes, sir. Above a 4. The other thing that I'm going to say that you notice before you do the eye laser is that no alarms have gone on in the room. In fact, the machines still register as normal, but you shoot you reassemble, you shoot the eye laser. As you shoot it, it goes through it, but the thing releases her, turns to you, and you see just for a second, it phases back into what you would consider normal space, and then phases back out. As it's phasing back out, it's like, you again. And then at that point, it phases back out, and you can see that switching back to thermal. Again, I'm taking some liberties. So switching back to thermal to track it, it moves away, it floats away towards the window, and it goes right into the ground, right through the floor. Are you muted?
Yeah, just checking something real quick.
Okay.
Did it make any particular noises, or was it just what I saw?
It didn't do the same noise from when you destroyed the bodies, but it did like an audible hiss and that's primarily because of the laser, the heat of the laser as it went through and it shot through the window. So now you can hear the outside because it pulled a lot of air from the room in out because it wasn't vacuum sealed, but you know what I'm talking about. So I'm assuming you know what I'm talking about because I can't describe it because my brain's mush.
No, I get it.
Okay.
The outside air is coming into the room.
Right.
Basically.
So
the room is no longer medically safe.
Right. So what you can hear her like she's still intubated, but she's coughing, and now the instruments start blaring.
I go back to my micro swarm form and kind of just hang out under her bed.
Okay. So not Pat, the other nurse that was on duty. She runs into the room. She's like, "Oh my God!" and she presses the button for the emergency button, the code blue. Or is it code blue? I think it's code blue. And the doctor comes in and she tells him she's coding, so she's going into cardiac arrest. And they start administering. They start to treat her. So as they're treating her, and you're so describe where you are in the room. You may be muted.
I'm literally under her bed.
Okay.
I'm staying under there, but I am monitoring her, via Mechanolink, monitoring her systems.
Mm-hmm.
Monitoring what the systems are picking up. Also watching her via bioscan.
Okay.
And I'm switching between infrared and ultraviolet, like every 2.5 seconds.
All right.
Switching through my visuals.
Okay.
And I also send a message to Dad that she was just attacked here at the hospital by another one of those things, but without form.
And you get that message, Patch. The switching your optics doesn't yield anything. Her vitals, they were able to stabilize them. The doctors, everyone is just trying to figure out what happened. So, like, they're looking at her EKG, and it's like these things are off the chart. So they're going through the motions medically to figure out what's going on. They had already taken blood. They're doing their medical part to discern what happened to her.
I also turn the music off.
And no one notices that because of the. Thankfully, no one noticed that because of the blaring of the machines. But the she's back to being stable, but she's in a coma now. A little bit, a little longer, and she may have been brain dead because of the lack of oxygen. So now they're going to transfer her to a critical care unit. Okay, and with that,
When they go to move her bed, I just simply attach to the underside of her bed.
okay. Okay. Take her out of the room. Back to you guys, Morgan, Sage, and Orion. So, Sage, you haven't heard back from Agent Rivers yet on whether or not you're clear to travel. Orion, you haven't heard back from Agent Rivers because apparently she's got a lot to go through. And you haven't heard back from her about adding your program, your repeating program to the existing satellite network. And Morgan is just twiddling his thumbs, telling everyone how smart he is. I'm smarter than everyone, but yet they let me do nothing. I'm so smart that I forgot to unmute myself.
They didn't know about the satellite.
Morgan is muted. Your microphone is muted. I see your lips moving, but I hear no voices. He still hasn't gotten it. Unmute your mic. Super genius. Is it too late for you? Do you need to go Mimi? Is that what it is? Morgan, are you there? Literally can't
He's
hear
been
you. Dude.
answering. He's been talking to you, Lou.
Yeah, he's.
I can't hear you. You're muted. I don't know if you're muted or if
He's
you're
not muted.
He's
You're
not
not
muted.
hearing him.
You just have him deafened. Raise his volume.
I don't have him deafened at all.
You sure? Maybe he just
I'm
admitted to his bullshit.
I'm absolutely sure. And no. I literally can't hear him.
Because I can hear him talking.
You guys can hear him
Technical
talking?
difficulties. Alert.
That's weird.
His computer decided to reject Spanky.
Even your computer doesn't like you.
Maybe you logged into the D&D game and it's just blocking him.
Are
now.
you on a different chat or something?
No.
Huh.
So just have him log off and come back
Yeah,
and just
try-
re-invite him.
Try that. Because I literally can't hear you. Hold on a second. Spotlights. Let me,
He's on permanent mute.
I can just picture he's just wanting to do this thing where he goes, I'm talking to you. You're not hearing me. What? I'm talking to you. I'm telling you stuff.
That's just weird that you guys can hear him. All right, now
And what
unmute.
we wanted to do was the whole thing with the
Are
satellite.
you sure? It's,
Can you hear me
Confusing
now?
me for
I
Orion.
definitely can hear you now. Yes.
are you sure it wasn't selective deafness?
No.
I
definitely-
remember when we spoke about the satellites. I'm gonna pose an idea to Orion if he's there. If not, I'm gonna tell Sage about it in case I'm not near Orion.
So everyone's back on the on the floor. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask. Have you talked to Elon Musk? To Orion?
He's not cleared for
Honestly,
contact.
I just
yet.
saw what you did. Oh my god. He's like, nope, no Musk here. Holy crap.
He has 540 commercial satellites as of now. So if you needed to do something, since he likes to say "fuck the system," you might be able to get him on your side to utilize those satellites. I mean,
It's an
it's
idea.
just an idea.
He's not cleared for the very reason you spoke of.
Do you know how much? Nobody's half the time in America cleared.
You bloody blue twit.
Oh, I keep forgetting you're not from here.
That's a great idea, but the problem is we don't know who to go with this information with.
What do you mean?
I've
Totally.
already completed my analysis, anyways, of the satellites we currently have, and the technology needed to detect this isn't there except for maybe a 30-second window?
He has 540 satellites around the planets, which means there'll be more than a 20-second window because they can bounce off each other. You probably can have it
You
all the
know,
time.
You
You're
can have it
not
all.
listening to me. I'll give him the technical specs so that he understands that like there's no way to get more than a 30-second window on this.
With 540 satellites, they can bounce off each other. There is an enormous amount of chance that you can have more than a 20-second
It's
window.
not the number of.
Out of character.
And he
I'm
freezes.
telling you this out of
It's
character
not the
because
number of satellites. It's the tech.
because I just sent your character in character the information, and your character would understand. It's not the number of satellites that's the problem. It's the fact that it has to record it at the absolute spike of the radiation, which means when the shit's going down, that's when it's telling us shit's about to go down.
So I mean, you don't know. You do know that he says he has 500. Who
It's
knows if
publicly
he
known. He just launched another 60 like back in
So,
April.
but
He might have more.
But the tech level for him may not be that much more advanced than what you already have. Plus, and this is just me saying this. With what Orion knows, you guys have access to military grade satellites. So he does not have military grade satellites in, of
No,
course.
he doesn't.
Sage had dropped, so we'll just wait for him to come back. And so if he's using commercial satellites, non-military satellites, it's highly unlikely that it would be any more advanced than what you already have.
So then I want to go back to the triangulation using the satellite towers. Since that is based on radiation. So it should be able to detect radiation since it has to pick up the same thing, radiation.
Well, that's that again. If I'm not mistaken, Orion had taken that under consideration as part of his report, right? As part of his algorithm and everything.
Yes.
So with all the information you guys had provided thus far, the best that you could hope for is a 30-second window prior to an event, a massive spike. So there's really not much, and by 30 seconds, that's just an estimate, because you haven't tested the theory yet. It's still a theory. So realistically, between 1 and 30 seconds before a boom happens.
So I'm gonna blatantly say that,
I'm better than all of you. You're stupid. No, I'm just kidding.
I
Okay.
am in satellite communication. I do not have an expertise in, so I defer to you.
It's like, wait, what? You're not smarter than me?
I guess the best way to describe it is it's not a problem of can we detect radiation. It's a problem that our resolution is nowhere near what it needs to be.
Plus, the type of radiation that you're looking for doesn't technically exist. It's only relative to what you know as like fusion energy. Because it's because it's magic. So magic.
Yeah.
We as players, we all know that there exist different forms of magic.
Yeah.
They all function similarly by concept, but they all derive some of them derive their energies from sources. Not the cauldron of eternal torment like Doctor Strange.
I don't know what's going on with your mic, Lou, but you'll be talking, and it'll just go really, really
Yeah,
quiet
you know
for
what
a
it is,
moment,
because
and-
I have a forward-facing mic now. So if I go over here, this is what happens.
He does
and,
anything and just
yeah. So I have to literally just stand on top of my mic, and I get animated, so I start turning.
Get a blue orb.
Yeah, no, because that shit would pick up every ambient sound in my room, in my house.
Oh no, you can change the settings. I have it now.
So,
I mean, I've had it for a while, but yeah.
you're lying. I don't believe you. That's a lie. You're all lying. You're a bunch of liars. A bunch of stinking liars. I wonder if I was having a meltdown right now. Stupid hills of Mexico.
Standing there with holy water over the modem. The power of Christ compels you.
No, he's Santero, so he got a chicken. He's cutting the head off.
Oh.
And the blood is pouring over the
Bring
damn
me
rock.
the goat. Like, bring me the goat and a caldera. Make my net.
Get the brujo.
Make my network grow.
Here's one.
Meh.
Hey, man, his father. God rest his mother's soul, too, but yeah.
Tu me hiciste
Was as well.
brujería. All right, I'm gonna
That whole family,
See.
you were born into that shit.
invited him yet again, so
Okay.
we will give him a few. We're probably gonna what do you call it? I'm gonna end it soon anyway, so I
Yeah,
will,
I'm looking at it. Technical difficulty on top of it.
All right. Well,
it's getting
we can spend this time doing the mathematics skill rolls
Okay.
for the device, I guess.
Oh, and also, depending on what the lottery is, I'm going to play the lotto since I know I can win.
And I'm gonna ask Morgan for help on his like dimensional science shit.
Are you gonna share any other?
Explain to him what I'm gonna be trying to do. Essentially, converting this energy into a force field energy. Obviously, there wouldn't be a 1-to-1 ratio, but
Okay.
see if we can't develop a device to turn the energy into a containment field against that very energy.
So when it comes up, you can try to capture it like a Faraday cage.
You've been
Basically,
using
at the very least, keep it contained so it's not bringing down buildings.
Okay, again, all theoretical. Don't know if it's going to work or not.
Mm-hmm.
So working on the math, it's not an issue. I'm not going to make you guys roll that because that'll take place over a longer period of time. It's not like you're going to instantly make it. So making you roll, it's just a bottleneck that's unnecessary. So you'll be able to create what you're theoretically trying to create. The idea is whether or not it's going to work as a practical application.
Can I get the parts at Radio Shack, right?
Right.
It don't exist no more.
Yeah.
Oh. What?
Let me
There's still
know.
a couple near me.
Let me know
Really?
if we go by
Yeah, there's one here and there.
a Radio Shack.
Damn. They must have been independent shops. But
Okay.
I'm gonna base his theory, and if I can create something that can repulse it away from the area.
Okay.
So
Again.
that way, if his theory doesn't work, we have a backup theory.
All right. So again, all theoretical, and you can absolutely work on that. Just do me a favor and just type out what you're doing. This way, it doesn't have to be anything complex. What the idea is behind it, and this way I can note it because I'm not going to remember this.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to end it today. Well, this was interesting. And you know what you guys should do?
Blast actions.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. You can just tell Adolfo when he comes back. It's like, dude, we released Cthulhu. I don't know how it happened, but we are screwed.
We ripped open the time-space continuum for the Night Lords to come through.
You'd be like, all right, fine, I'll sick my dog at him. Go. Okay, so last actions. I already know what Orion is doing. So that would leave Patch, who's now he's just like, "Would I get a book? It couldn't be a laptop. This is bullshit."
No, I think I know what book it is, and I'm mad that I have it.
So did I. As soon as I heard it, I was like, "Oh!"
I made that same sound. You hear me do it?
I was in the kitchen.
I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, that's that bullshit reaction.
Like,
Just like, oh, you see, this is some bullshit.
I'll make a special containment case for
I
it. so
mean,
can
you
put
could
it on
just
my
you
armor.
could throw it into space. That always seems to work,
Oh, let's try that. I got rockets.
right? Spank, want to throw it in space? Want to throw it in space? Space in space?
They'll come back.
That didn't work the last time somebody
We'll throw
tried
it in
it.
space.
I was hoping trying to throw that shit into the sun and shit.
First of all, you couldn't possibly have thrown it hard enough.
No.
I mean,
Well, there's
it'll
no
get
gravity.
there. It'll
As
get
soon as
there
you push it,
eventually.
It's gonna go for infinity.
It would have to go through gravity first to get there.
I
It,
flew up into space, which means
it,
past the atmosphere. where the
it'll
gravity
it'll
is.
get there eventually. Hey.
Eventually. No,
And then
that's
you gotta
why-
hope. And then you had to hope you threw it faster than the freaking gold. Than those freaking demons can catch up to it.
Well, it was a day, so that's why I was like, if I had it was 24 hours, I could have tried to fly far enough away and then launch it.
All right. So
But there's no way in hell it would have got there within this lifetime.
that's all. That's all
the moon
theoretical.
is like fucking 4 million miles,
Yeah.
and if you're going at 200, yeah, okay.
All right. So last
That's 100
actions,
years.
we are going to. I already know what Orion's doing. Pat, you didn't. You were still examining all the materials, right?
I'm examining his materials,
Mhm.
see if it's overly dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
overtly dangerous to my family.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is yes.
Hey, no metagaming. But the answer
Besides
is.
the obvious fact that it's probably the book that everyone's coming after.
But the answer is yes.
I'm talking about like the mold and all that shit, you know.
Okay. All right. And Seraph is sticking with our patient. Were you doing anything
I'm
else?
also
Yeah.
I'm
Go ahead.
also delving more into the Doctor. What the hell is the doctor's character's name?
Vanderbilt.
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 Vanderbilt's research
Mm-hmm.
about neural linking.
Okay.
And it's now of definitive interest in case I have to try and communicate with a comatose person.
Comatose.
So I'm looking into that more, studying it, gathering all the info I can possibly get, and try to understand it.
Okay. Or Morgan. Aside from
I'm
being
gonna sit in my
condescending.
hands and give myself a stranger.
I shall
No, I'm
call
gonna,
you.
like I said, based on their plans, I'm gonna try to create a backup in case their theory doesn't work.
Okay. Well, like I said, just write it out just really quickly so that.
I'll send it. Yeah.
All right. So that leaves Crimson Sage.
He's like, I'm gonna try to get some mice that are healthier so my internet doesn't go down.
Hey, that's not funny. I just had to bury 2 hands.
He just popped in too.
He has this in a Chihuahua. What?
I hate chihuahuas.
Yeah, he wouldn't mind burying live chihuahuas at this
Oh,
point.
he hates you.
But what?
If
What's,
there was a way I can keep a chihuahua alive while I dismembered it
you know,
piece by
there
piece,
is no
that
reason to
bring me
continue this.
great pleasure.
There's no reason to
Yes.
continue this.
And Lou,
You
eventually-
monster.
It's just a
And now
rat.
Peter.
Yeah, now we're
It's
gonna get
wild.
shut down because of PETA.
Yep. Now you're gonna have Peter on this one. Yeah.
Well, it's been nice
Those
working.
ain't-
It's been nice running the
Those
game for you
ain't-
guys. We're gonna
I know
get.
that is a Greenpeace. You'd be all right.
We're gonna get canceled by PETA.
Peter,
activists.
I need Peter. Pamela Anderson comes after you.
Yeah,
I need to
boy.
go after.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
You're gonna do
Right.
this and this. I'm
May-
gonna rape you, bitch.
maybe
Ain't that the
maybe
queen of?
2001 Pamela Anderson.
I'll still
Okay,
do her now. I don't give a fuck.
so we're still on Morgan. What do you?
So now we find that me too as well.
Yeah, it's just I've been trying to wrap it before it gets out of hand, and it's too late.
Like I said, I'm gonna create a backup plan
Sure.
for
Okay,
Orion.
and I'm sorry,
And
I'm looking at Sage because he's in your character box. So Orion, not Orion. I'm sorry.
I am unfortunately
Sage.
my fucking internet is going in and out. So
All right, say that again because you said that,
mm,
and that's how it happened. So what are your final actions?
hey. Final action is waiting for the orders. See if I can. Also searching the tapestry. See if I can get a hit on that,
Okay.
on its location, its whereabouts.
Okay. All right. So with that, we're gonna call it a night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all one person who's been watching. I don't know if it's any of the players, but I don't really care. So it's just one viewer. I don't give a shit. One viewer. We're gonna build from there. God damn it. We can only go up.
If you build it,
If we build it, they will come. For
Eventually.
myself, we have Orion, Crimson Sage, Patch, Morgan, and Seraph. We bid you a fond farewell.